Joseph Edsel Edmunds, nematologist. Dr. Joseph Edsel Edmunds is a scientist, artist, author, poet, educator, and a diplomat. A true Renaissance man who believes that all disciplines are grounded in science.
Well, life in St Lucia in my time was very exciting, very simple. We didn't have the level of technology that you now have. There was certain purity in growing up. It was quite an enjoyable youth, I must say.
He was expected to study the arts at St Mary's College, but this posed a difficulty to young Edmunds.
The major thrust of the high school then was in the arts. You had to know your French, Latin was still taught, and of course English literature. But somehow or other, I just got a calling for the sciences.
Despite wanting to study law or medicine, he accepted a scholarship to the University of Puerto Rico to study agriculture. In 1961, he completed his bachelor's in agronomy and then went on to Cornell University of the USA, where he obtained a master's in plant pathology and a PhD in nematology, the study of roundworms. His work in nematology has been pioneering.
Nematodes, as you know, are microscopic worms. They're about 0.3 of a millimeter in length. And a lot of people in the Caribbean didn't know what they were or what they are. So the challenge was there. And when I was doing my PhD, I had to specialize in something. And it occurred to me that, well, I'd never heard of nematodes before until I studied plant pathology. And I suspected that we probably have problems. And so I decided to specialize in nematology.
Due to his expertise in nematode management, he served as a consultant in the South Pacific, Cameroon, Latin America, and Nigeria, among other locations. His contribution to nematology was recognized in the naming of a nematode, Longiodorus edmundsi, in his honor. He also received the Order of the British Empire, OBE, for his contribution to science.
My greatest achievement was the fact that the British scientists who observed a worm for the first time, it had not been described. And he came to me and asked me whether he could name it after me. I looked at the worm. I must say I wasn't too impressed with the look of the worm, but nevertheless, it was quite an honor.
Branching off from research science, he became a diplomat. He was the former Ambassador of St Lucia to the United Nations, the Organization of the American States, OAS, and the USA. He was also the Dean of the Caribbean Diplomatic Corps. Dr. Edmunds also writes poetry, paints, and studies reflexology and Reiki. He has already published a book of poems called Many Horizons and has over 100 paintings. This enigma of human spirit can be best understood through his poetry, which he confesses is an expression of his inner self.
The world needs hands extended to help when in need, to touch with feeling, to give to those who seek. I go beyond and extend both hands across latitudes and longitudes in global embrace, joining other hands in love and peace across the world. So should we all.
After an illustrious career in science and the diplomatic service, Dr. Edmunds is living proof that learning never stops.
I used to tell myself, you know, there'll be nothing left to be researched on because it's all researched on already. But the more I studied, you know, the more I realized there's so much that we do not know.